Hey everybody, welcome back to Light Up the Woods, my YouTube channel. I'm very glad to see you. So I'm here right now editing today's Testimony Tuesday. This one is going to be a three-parter. Three parts, yes. And you'll see why it's a three-parter once you get into it. But before we get into it, we got to get into this intro. Why? Because we gotta get the song stuck in your head. Come on, y'all know this already. Go.
Light up the woods, light up the woods. One syllable at a time. Light up the woods, light up the woods. One video at a time. Light up the woods, light up the woods. One syllable at a time. Light up the woods, light up the woods. One video at a time.
Welcome back to Light Up the Woods, my YouTube channel. I'm Woods, and as you can see today, I have not one, but two guests who are going to introduce themselves in 3, 2, 1.
I am Mel.
And I'm Shane.
And together we are
Mel and Shane.
Yay! So Mel and Shane is their YouTube channel, which we're going to talk about a little bit towards the end of this. But today, they are here to participate in Testimony Alright, so before we begin, we're going to have Mel and Shane tell us a little bit about themselves, and then we're just going to get into the testimony. So, go ahead.
Hi everyone, I am Melissa Williams. I'm 28 years old. And I am the founder of Pip Ministry, and I am the fiance of this gentleman right here.
Shout ring.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
hey.
You see that?
Bless God. We bless God.
Yes.
My name is Shane Burt Miller. I am just a young man that loves the Lord, love good food. I love hanging out with great people, getting to know new people, and just encouraging others. Really enjoy that.
Amazing. Well, I know that you guys are gonna love them as much as I do, and you guys are gonna go to their YouTube channel and subscribe.
Mhm.
But I'm just gonna hand the floor over to you guys, and I'm really just gonna be here to listen and talk.
Okay.
Definitely. Well, God is good, Woods, we just want to acknowledge you for this platform.
Yes.
It's always an amazing thing when we can talk about what God is doing, because we know God is at work. He's alive and well, and he's moving in the lives of many people. And so he's been moving in our lives. He's been doing a lot of things. Last December, me and Mel and I, we got engaged December 5th, and it was an amazing time.
Yeah.
However, the journey with us didn't start there. God has been moving in our lives individually, preparing us for that moment, and we know that God has a lot in store for us as well. And so we're going to share about what God has been doing, about the journey individually, and Mel is going to start it off.
Alright, so basically my story is really about taking that leap of faith. And I'm hoping that by sharing this, there's somebody out there who was probably wondering if they should take that leap. I hope this is the moment that you will certainly do that, because it's God's desire for you, and if you're feeling that, it's definitely something that you should do. So I was raised in a family that loves God, still do, they still love God. And at age 12 maybe, or when I was in grade 8, I got baptized. But to get to that point, it wasn't solely because I wanted to serve God. I was really following the footsteps of my elder sister. She's my role model, still is today. And she made that decision to want to serve God. So of course, as a little sister that looks up to your big sister, anything she does, you wanna follow. So I said, okay, I'm gonna serve the Lord too. And of course, we started that journey, but it went downhill like in a month because we moved away from church, and we're living further away from church. So the further away from church, we were moving further away from God because you need that support. You need that support in the church, fellowship and all of that.
Yeah.
And all the Bible studies that we would have to do that on our own. So that kind of pull us back. Fast forward to just being a teenager and going into adulthood. I really didn't have God on my mind at all. And He was really there for me though, because I've been through situations where I didn't overcome on my own. Going through hardship with my family, just trying to make it, my mom trying to make ends meet, and just to see how He pull us through that was definitely God. But at that time, I didn't know that. I usually hear my mom say, God will provide, God will provide.
Yeah.
But you hear it, you're not processing it, but you see it happen the next day. And I didn't register that at all. So fast forward again into becoming, in my 20s, 19 going into 20s now, I found myself in a relationship because I was going to college and, I was away from home now, so I started making decisions on my own. My mom was there, but, in your own space, you want to feel like you're grown.
Yeah.
So I entered into a relationship. And that lasted for 7.5 years.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
Yes, that lasted for 7.5 years. But going into that relationship, I was becoming a woman. I was trying to know myself. I was going out, having a little fun here and there. But I remember on 3 occasions, I felt the desire to serve the Lord. And
you felt the desire to serve the Lord?
Yeah.
Can you describe that feeling?
So it was this enviousness that I have of young women that was serving the Lord. I see them going to church and I was like, why can't I be that committed? How can they serve the Lord and still be young and look so happy? Why do I feel like if I serve the Lord I won't be happy? And that desire keep growing. I couldn't understand why I was so jealous of persons who were serving the Lord, and I keep pushing it away. So
that's interesting.
Yeah,
I say that's interesting because usually you hear the opposite, right? It's like, oh, they're out in the world and they're doing all such and such. It looks fun. I want to do that, but I've never actually heard it in the reverse. You reach out to people serving God.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
My God. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's fine. It's
God's at work.
And you see them so young and just over there praying. Because my in that relationship, the person I was with, he was a barber, and his shop was right in front of a church, a tent church, and I was like, wait, oh, they're just serving the Lord, praying, and I saw it right in front of my face, and that feeling, I wanted that, but I just didn't want to leave the world. There was nothing there that really excites me more than just music. I was like, oh my God, stop listening to these music and dancing and stuff like that. But eventually, seeing that, I made the decision to go to church, go back to church, that same church. And I remember going up to the altar and, doing the recommitment prayer. At that time, I didn't know that by doing that prayer, you automatically had started a whole new relationship with God. I was always at the mindset that you have to get baptized again.
Okay.
So I didn't know that when I left church that day, I was supposed to just go into the Word and just start serving the Lord. It says almost like I left church, go back home, and then I didn't go to church the next Sunday, and then I started drifting away, because that's a pattern from when I was younger.
Yeah.
I remember another time I went to my mom's house and she was playing Tasha Cobbs, and oh my goodness, she was playing Break Every Chain, that song.
I love that song.
And it ministered to me so much. I was like, oh my goodness. And I remember leaving that Sunday to go back to my house, and I downloaded most of her songs. I remember playing them every morning before work. And the feelings, it felt so good when you go into the taxi and you hear it playing and you can sing along, and that it just felt so good inside, just the words and the message and me wanting to serve God. And it was just beautiful at that time. But I remember one point when in that relationship, I said, I'm going to serve the Lord. And I started thinking, okay, if I'm serving the Lord, this is not really a place where I can engage in certain things with you. And the person was supportive, but was not supportive of the fact that they won't get, to be intimate with you. And I remember I was there and refusing to get to that place. And it just didn't work out. And I was like, okay, I cannot serve the Lord in this situation. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put serving God off again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you chose a relationship over it?
Yeah, because at that time, I didn't, for me, but like growing where I was raised, I didn't have all the knowledge of building relationship with God.
Yeah.
You hear about it, was like you don't know how to put it into practice. You just think getting baptized, read the Bible, that's it. Yeah. So for me, I didn't know like how I was supposed to live Christ that was a life that was pleasing to Christ.
Yeah.
So I chose to just put it off. But further down the line in that relationship, infidelity comes. The disrespect, little emotional abuse here and there, one time physical abuse, and I was like, okay, I really need to get out of the situation. The person didn't know I was feeling that, but like I remember I just was crying one night. I was like, God, please help me to be brave enough to take that leap of faith. And I took the leap of faith and left the relationship.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's good.
And that was the first time I felt like I've ever chosen myself. Yeah. And when I did that, I didn't just go to Christ right away, because when you leave something like that, you're used to being in a relationship for like 7 years and just moving into a space of being alone.
Yeah.
Being with yourself.
Yeah.
You don't really know yourself at that point. You know yourself being a partner.
Yeah.
You don't know yourself being single. I didn't know myself being single.
Yeah.
So
especially since you started in like you said you were like 19, 20, right?
Yeah, 19.
So this is really when your brain is developing.
Yeah.
So all of your development happened in this relationship.
Yeah.
So you don't really know yourself outside of like 17 years old.
Exactly.
As an adult by yourself.
Exactly.
Wow.
So being able to just be with yourself was very new for me and frustrating. I think to that point I got depressed and I felt like God never exists at that point. I remember my friend would call and like, shake yourself out of this man. You gonna find somebody to be with, and and I was like, she was say just keep praying. And I remember saying these words. In Patois, I said, me no want to hear nothing about God. I mean, I don't want to hear anything about God.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just wasn't praying. I had no faith there.
Wow.
So I was listening to Steve Harvey because he's like the relationship guru.
Think like a man.
Yeah. So I was like listening to him, and for some reason God put himself in that situation where I was gonna see him, because you would have never thought that listening to Steve Harvey gonna hear that write 30 to 100 things down that you would love to achieve, and trust and believe that God is gonna give it to you.
Steve Harvey said this.
Yeah. And I remember in the bed and I found a book and I wrote down everything. I wrote like 33 things down that came to mind. And on it I had I think it was number 23. I wanted to build back a relationship with God. And I had on it that I wanted to meet somebody who will become my husband that loves me and accepts me for who I am. And I have some other things on it. But the first thing that I could tick off on that list was building my relationship with God. And unknowingly, when I wrote that list, I was not praying at all. But I remember I wrote, I, Melissa Williams, want this from God. And I remember praying over it unknowingly. And that was the first time since I left that relationship, actually, like, went into prayer. And I'm telling you.
And it was prompted by Steve Harvey.
So, like,
you never know.
God show up anywhere. And
anything.
He's
anybody.
Just always there with you. He's just always there.
Yeah.
So even when you think he's not there with you, you find him in places that you will never imagine. And that's the beauty about it. And he reminds you every day that he's with you. So I wrote that list, I wrote it, and I started forming that relationship with God. And then, like, probably 6 months after I wrote that list, was it December? I wrote it in November, December, January, February. 4 months later, after I wrote that list, here comes me meeting Shane online.
Listen, the Bible says, write it down and make it plain, okay? Yeah. And you wrote down those things, and
I met Shane online.
Hello?
And just look at it. I was in a relationship for 7.5 years, going 8. And in less than a year, 10 months, I got engaged.
Wow. God is amazing.
That's beautiful. That's so good.
God is amazing.
That's so good.
Wow. So God was just waiting, in a sense, to work through your leap of faith.
Yeah. And I kept getting that feeling to take the leap of faith, but I was so scared to do it. I was very scared, and I remember just praying, God, please give me the strength to take the leap of faith that time. And I took the leap of faith, and it just started working things out. And sometimes you gotta realize that you can't do anything on you just can't do anything on your own. It's all God. It's all God, and keep trusting in him. And when you take that leap of faith, know that you're gonna face adversities.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
But it's something I'm still learning to do, and that is during those times of adversity to rejoice, to pray. Because I always go back to the story where it was Paul and Silas in jail, and when they got locked up, instead of like, why am I get thrown here? Why am I in here? They rejoiced, and that cell was open, and they were set free. So instead of just beating yourself down in adversity, rejoice. It might pull you out. It will. We've seen it in the Bible. It will pull you out. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm just.
Remember I said it was 3 parts. That's the end of the first part. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment and share your thoughts below, and then meet me back here next week for the second part. So until I see you again, you have a duty to shine your light in this world. So go on and light up the world. Bye.
Light up the woods, light up the woods. One syllable at a time.